Um, I want to get into. I'm going a little out of order, so I want to hit the two main things, obviously, that we had on the schedule. We wanted to hit last week, but ran out of time. We've been doing our series of looking back at albums. excuse me, that are 10 years. And today we have Will's Man, Wale, the album about nothing. Uh, Obviously, we kind of started to, but we had to scrap it because again, didn't have enough time last week. So I'm gonna kind of re-ask the same question I started that didn't get recorded or published at least. Is why do y'all feel like Wale never got the credit that he probably should have, considering the kind of music he was putting out during this time frame, like where he was never put into some of these conversations of you one of the top guys, especially where like that top class got broken down to now three guys, but at that time it's probably between 3 to 5 guys. And Wale took it personally because Wale used to just, I said this last week, Wale used to just call radio stations and cuss niggas out because he felt like he wasn't getting the love that he wanted. Which maybe, calling out radio stations that have to play your music and cussing them out, probably not great to get your music played. But I digress. Why do y'all feel like Wale never got put in those conversations more than he should have?
You can go ahead, Will.
Shit, what? I can't even remember what I said last week.
It's okay, it didn't get uploaded, so you got a brand new canvas.
I know, right? Now I gotta think. So I think part of it is being not being the media darling. I think that and I think that was kind of one of his things always. But it's kind of tough because I don't necessarily see like Kendrick Cole or Drake that way either. It's really hard to pinpoint why. Because I mean, like musically, I feel like he always had the success as far as his songs. When he come out with some of those songs that do really well on the charts and kind of get super popular, but just I think people don't really connect with him, I guess, as a person. And I mean, I think over the last few years, that's big for like these the younger people as far as being able to connect with who they're listening to.
Mm-hmm.
Because
Valid. Tony?
I mean, he got the songs, he got the catalog.
No, he definitely got. If you want to go like I said this a little bit last week. I'm like, if you want to go like top end hits, like he's probably doing top end hits with anybody besides maybe Drake. Because like Wale got some hits, not just like this shit was fire. Like no, he got some like Lotus Flower Bomb was going crazy. Um, excuse me. Like I said like he had a record with Gaga, and it was like he has records that or again besides probably exactly Drake, he could go hit for hit with anybody. Tony, you said one time, and I'm curious if you still feel this way, and I forget what even the context was. I don't think it was on a pod. I think we were just talking, which is like Wale and Drake actually do make the same music. It just don't hit the same way. You still feel
Oh
that?
yeah, and it's especially because when you think about a lot of the shit Wale has put out around, let's say 2014 to like 2018, let's say that range of time, 2014, 2018 for him and Drake. It's like
Mm,
Wale put out the same type of like women records, if you want to call them that. The rapping was at a high level like Drake. They could both put out like just, those records where just put on like a hard beat and they can rap. But it's a lot of different reasons as to why he hasn't gotten like the praise or at least like the superstardom that Drake has. Obviously, like fucking colorism is one of them, but the relatability to an extent, because like Drake was looked at as like you could he was, I guess, more relatable in a way as far as like those singing records went. And
mm-hmm.
then from a rapping standpoint, he had like a brighter light on him bar wise than Wale did, even if like rappers would have said like that's not something that's like super far off, or like a lot of like rappers probably would say like Wale's a better rapper.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just a matter of, a lot of different things that's out of Wale's control, but also to the point of like some people just don't like Wale. Like that's just it is what it is. Like some people just find him to be like an asshole. Some people might find him not to be like a nice guy. Some people might think that he isn't as good as he thinks he is. And that'll
Mhm.
always happen in art, like in any form of art. Like sometimes the level of greatness that you think you have, other people do not think you have that level of greatness. And rather that be fair or not, it is what it is.
And even kind of to add to that point too, though, I think, and I think I said it last week, like when we talked about it initially too, when you somebody who somebody like Wale who may be viewed as like arrogant or cocky and things like that, also like people don't always connect with that automatically. Like a lot of times they actually go against that because they like, oh, you think you this good, so it's like, it's almost like, people love a good underdog story, or they love like the humble person, or they love like, like look at J. Cole, like people love, like we all fuck with J. Cole, but a lot of people love J. Cole because it's like he come off as super humble and
Oh,
super
they
low
love
maintenance
J.
and all
Cole
of
in the
that.
airport picture. They love seeing that nigga go through like regular ass airport shit.
But yeah, so it's like, but that's what I'm saying. So it's like somebody like Wale who is like, he'll get an interview and say he better than everybody. He'll get, he'll do all these things, and I think naturally, like people don't connect with that.
Yeah, we're
Like
gonna get
people
into.
usually resist against that. To be honest,
No, it's valid. We're gonna get into the actual album itself here. I think with Wale, it matters more. I think this conversation comes up with him more because again, all three of us fuck with Wale. All three of us big Wale fans. Um, Will has said multiple times, like when you go like that era of like take whoever you want, like Will's picking Wale over most of them, like Drake, Kendrick, Cole, like take your pick. Um, so my last question before we get into the actual track list is, looking back on it, do y'all think being on MMG actually like helped or hurt him long term? And some of that to do with again his own personality and the way he kind of clashed, like he clashed with Meek at certain points. Meek was also in theory competition, and Meek got to a higher stardom point quicker than Wale did. And again, Wale kind of looking at everybody, no matter who it is, like I'm better than you. Like why, almost why are you in that spot, and not me? Do you think looking back on it, being with MMG was the best thing for his career?
Yeah, hell yeah. That's something I'm not gonna like. And I get your question. I'm not saying you doing this, but I like that's not something I'm gonna like revisionist history on and make it something that it wasn't. Like him being on MMG was a big deal, number one, and it was great for him for a long time, not
it
just
was
like a
mutually
short
beneficial
period.
though. Like it was,
Yeah,
it was because he had a stretch where he was the MMG hit maker. Like
yeah, fact. So it's like that was a very beneficial thing for everybody. Like that MMG era where it was like one of the bigger labels. That was definitely a big like that was a great time for him for sure.
but I
I
think
agree.
I think also real quick too, like when you look at like the MMG situation, I think even if you look at somebody like a Meek, like Meek, people love Meek initially, and then like when Meek kind of started number one getting on Twitter and talking more, just more shit in general. So whether you want to get into the Twitter finger shit or whether you want to get into something maybe like he started becoming more arrogant and more cocky and things like that, that's when people kind of started to step back from him and like, all of a sudden you don't really fuck with me like you used to and things like that.
That's valid.
So I think when because initially when me came out, like he was the dirty nigga from Philly, like as what they perceived, and that's not me saying that, but
No,
you
I
know,
get it. No, 1,000%. The excuse me, is cool too when like again Wale is going to be in that position. By this point, Wale's got great albums. Um, it was probably impossible because what you were dealing with of like, and why I think that era wrapped up the way it did is because like it's gonna be hard to say like you technically out rap either Cole or Kendrick. And so to say like, oh, you just like the best rapper from that era is gonna be tough. Like you can not like you can make an argument for it, cool, but it's just gonna be hard to say you did. Um, Kendrick obviously has like probably the biggest album as far as a standalone with Good Kid, Mad City. If you're going in just like that rap way, um, and then again Drake took the star power and became the superstar rapper and shit like that. So, and we've said before it was like Will used to Will would bring it up beforehand where it's like if you think Wale is the 100th best rapper of all time, cool. Do you know how many niggas have tried to rap? Like, that still puts you in the 0.01% class. If you like, oh, well, he ain't better than, like, these 5 dudes. It's like, this nigga's one of the best 100 to 150 rappers to ever do this shit. And that means you in the Hall of Fame for considering how many niggas have attempted to rap. Like, shout out to Will Mixtape.
And I think, I mean, I can understand, like, with me, even with me being like a big Wale fan, I can understand like how Wale could fall in like the middle for a lot of people, like to where it's like, you know, like Tony kind of mentioned, when it comes to like those hits or the girl songs, it's like you can say, okay, Drake does that better. And then when it comes to rapping, you might say, oh, Cole and Kendrick do that better. So it's kind of like one of those things to where you can kind of get into a situation where you fall into the middle where it's like, you dope, but like I can go listen to this person for this, and I can go listen to this person for that.
That's the nigga that made Lotus Flower Bomb. Like, I don't know anybody was fucking with, like, I get it, it's the way it played out, but it's like, you made Lotus Flower Bomb, my nigga. Like, you should have been like the guy with the girl records.
But I think also some people would probably debate that like the R&B parts of those records might have been bigger than the rapping. Yeah, so it's like that's also a thing too. Like to where, you know, when the rapping may not be the highlight of the hit.
And also to that, like to say, okay, he made Lotus Flower Bomb is like, yeah, but at the same time, like Drake had Marvin's Room, Drake had X, Y, and Z. So it was like,
and that's Drake though, and that's all Drake. So it's like Drake is the highlight all across the board. So it's like it's times we're on the radio where you may hear Lotus Flower Bomb and you might only hear the hook.
That's true. That's true. This is like the end of like this
Drake. Drake was out here. Drake featuring Drake.
No, that's facts. All right, we do with all these albums. Pit. What's y'all go tos when you listen down about nothing? What's y'all go tos?
Having just listened to it, you know, in prep for the shows, like the White Shoe is still like my joint. The Pessimist still. Girls on Drugs.
Girls on Drugs.
God Smile. Those 3 specifically. Like ones that I used to like go to a lot.
I think I said Need to Know with SZA. I had The Pessimist with Cole, and that's a couple because I like the Bloom also, but then I do like you know, the Helium Balloon.
Helium Balloon is that shit still sounds good. Like when I went to re-listen to it for the show, I was like, Helium Balloon was probably the one that I was like, that felt the best from what I was expecting to hear versus listen to it again. But Pessimist, Need to Know, and then I'm biased, and The Matrimony is definitely if I got to pick like just like a top 3 from this shit as far as like go tos, like those are gonna be my 3 go tos. Excuse me. Where and again, kind of with this album, which is different than what a lot of other artists do, like Wale has an actual theme here. We got the mixtape About Nothing. Like we have this Seinfeld theme that has been with him through the majority of his career. And again, this didn't end up coming out with last episode because we ran out of time. But I'll ask again. Do y'all feel like because he has a presumably predominantly black audience doing something with Seinfeld, and that being such a big theme, and not only the mixtapes but obviously this album, do you think something like that maybe missed the mark versus a more traditional approach to rap music during that time?
I don't think so. Just because, like I said last week, I think that who this shit was for was who it was for, as far as like the theme of it all. Because you're essentially following something that's already been done. So it's like if you are already tapped in with like Wale's work, then you know what's going on. And like to the Seinfeld of it all, that like the concept in general, like that didn't. I don't think that would have made no difference because it's one of those things. Is like if you like Wale and you never watch Seinfeld, you're like, oh, let me go check this shit out. It's like if you don't like Wale, you probably wasn't listening to this album anyway, so that don't really matter.
Yeah, and that was kind of a point I made too. Like, if you're a Wale fan and you've been following Wale's music, like it makes sense.
I agree. Again, I think some of these matter with him. Again, when you are, I'm gonna sound like an old man. When you're an actual artist like Wale and you put like so much time prep, like you're not just putting out bullshit because you can rap. Like even when Wale takes his breaks with music, it's he not just putting out shit to rap or to show that he is nicer than y'all and he is nicer than 99% of y'all. It's like he consistently is doing certain themes. Like he's trying to put out a body of work that means something to him, like an actual project. There's concept, there's designs. There's not just, you know, he's not just putting out music to put out music, right? And so I think with him above a lot of other guys, even that are dropping in this time, like, you know, I'm not really trying to take a shot, but it's like Future could just put out a song, right? And it just might be just Future putting out a music song because he got 100 or 1,000 unreleased songs, whatever the fuck it is, and he's putting out some shit to put it out. Wale has never felt like that to me. Like when Wale puts out a song, like there is a plan, there's detail, there's all that shit. I'm not trying to take shots at Future, you know. I'll throw it. Wayne's probably the biggest abuser of it. Nigga just has a shit ton of unreleased stuff, and he just throws some shit out. Where would y'all rank this, or amongst Wale's catalog? Like, how high does this go up for y'all?
I don't know, I'll let Tony go first, but then I guess real quick too, I guess before he go, even if you end up wanting to go first, Justin. I think another thing about Wale, and I think one of the biggest things with him is he, you know, I think he's super creative in the projects that he put together and the songs that he put out. But I do think that he makes the music that he likes and wants to make, and I think he mad because you know, he gets upset because other people don't like it or don't care for it or don't go looking for it, and it's like, you know, it's kind of one of those. So it's like you're not making stuff, you making, you know, your music, but it's like you want it to appeal to everybody, but you also are not willing to conform to appeal to everybody.
Yeah.
So it's like, yeah, so it's kind of like one of those things. He'd be like, all right, like, do y'all not see what I'm doing here? And they kind of like, yeah, we see it, we just don't give a fuck.
Not as valid as hell.
It's not super high on like my Wale albums. I think albums he's made following that have been better, and I think obviously Ambition and The Gifted were better than that. Not counting Attention Deficit. That's like out of my range, but um, and obviously like his tapes as well, like the Forlorn tape, 1111 tape. Like we talk about those, I think those are better. But
11,
like
Yeah.
the album in the time and still like the album still holds up as like a good album. It's not great, like it's not a great album. It's not a great Wale project. It's solid. It has a lot of good records on it. But I do think he's made like better albums before that. I think he made better albums before that, and I definitely think he's made better albums after that.
Yeah, I think that's kind of what we were saying last week too, Justin. I can't remember where. It's hard. It'll be hard for me to like rank all of it because I do like to rank projects and not even just albums, because like I was a big fan of like Wale mixtapes, like whether it was the More About Nothing, whether it was Folarin, 11 is probably one of my favorites from him. That and Folarin.
For all these guys who have like, I think I agree with you on like.
Wow, that's crazy.
If you don't have like an insane number of mixtapes where like it just gets hard to keep track of everything, I generally do view just like as a project guy. Like Tony would know better than I do. How many mixtapes does Gucci have, Tony?
How many hours you got in a day?
Okay, so
then multiply that by hours in a week.
Gucci don't even know how many mixtapes Gucci got.
So that would be
and
something.
It's definitely like, not it ain't a number of niggas that just know off the top of their head.
Not at all.
But that would be like a problem. Then it was like, or not a problem, but that would be an example of like, I'm not going to rank like Gucci projects because like, man, you just got too many. But like versus like Wale, I would probably include his, when I'm going like discography, I would go tapes and albums. Drake, I would do it with. Kendrick, I would do it with. Like, if you have a number that's like reasonable, yeah, we'd throw these all into the project bag. But you got like,
yeah,
like Gucci got a ton, Future got a ton, Wayne got a ton. Like, I ain't rating all these. Like, I'm just gonna be real here. Like, I ain't doing it. If you got over 50 projects, I'm not ranking.
Well, they got a lot of projects too, though. Like just all together.
No, he do. Wale be working. I think when we did, when we were kind of going through it to start last week, it was, and Tony probably said it. Tony said it really well. It was like it is a really good album, and it does hold up really well. But then you start looking at some of his other shit, and you just like, is it better than this? It's like, is it better than Ambition?
That's what I think. Every time we started going through track lists, I'm like, all right, it ain't better than this. And we started, because last week when we were going through those track lists, I'm like, damn, it ain't better than this either.
I guess with that being said, is like, because what's the next project post this? Shine? Do y'all feel like this?
Yeah,
was
first album was Shine.
And I like Shine. I don't know if Shine is like loved.
Nah, Shine. I think Shine kind of flew under the radar, honestly.
And so, do y'all feel like this was like the stalling out period for Wale between like this and Shine? Again, I'm trying to think like what was like be the biggest record off of Shine.
So I think that because I think the album about nothing was like something that he really wanted to do, and I think that maybe not being received the way that he wanted it to be received definitely kind of made him take a step back.
Not as valid. I think again the point you made about like just like if you want to is one thing if you want to put out like the music you want to hear and you want to present it in this certain way, but then if it doesn't hit with everybody, like it just doesn't hit, and you kind of got to just live with that. Is this more about nothing? What would be?
I think it was Shine. Then what?
It was Shine, Wow, That's
Crazy.
Crazy, and then Folarin 2. So those have been his studio albums after album About Nothing. Summer on Sunset dropped in 2016, but that was a mixtape. You could get that anywhere for free.
Mm-hmm.
Do we think it's better than I guess with Album About Nothing? Do we think it's better than Shine?
Not to me.
I agree. I love Shine, but I probably overrate Shine.
It's probably a better like album, but I don't think it has better songs on it than Shine.
I might lean Shine.
I'm not. I'll throw it up there as a question. I'm just not going to debate it. Better than Wow, That's Crazy.
Wow, That's Crazy. It's true because Wow, That's crazy. He gave you like it ain't better. Like it ain't. Like I think with Wow, That's Crazy.
Crazy is so underrated of an album.
Yeah, I'm not. I think Wow, That's Crazy is easily better than Album About Nothing. Folarin 2.
Folarin 2 to me is his best album since Gifted.
Wow, That's Crazy. Wow, That's Crazy probably got like it's probably some songs on Wow, That's Crazy that like he got a few songs on Wow, That's Crazy to where it's like no song on the album About Nothing can touch for real.
So this is a compliment. So then are we saying okay? So then are we saying Album About, and this is a compliment, I just don't, it's going to sound wild when I first say it. Are we saying Album About Nothing then is his worst album? Just albums.
His worst studio? To me it is, just because like I said, I just think the other projects are better, like from a musical standpoint, songs. Like the concept of it is one of his better concepts for sure. But just when you talk about the getting into the ones and twos of it, like if there's just better music on other albums.
No, I agree. And why I say it's like it is a compliment is if the Album About Nothing is your worst album, like that's the worst project you put out to the public, you are really fucking good at this rap shit. You are really good at this music shit. Because there's a lot of niggas who put out way worse. And it's considered like higher in their discography than something like the Album About Nothing being Wale's worst project. That's what I mean. I'm like, it is a compliment. It just sounds kind of fucked up. So I'm like, yo, this your worst shit, but your worst shit would be better than a lot of niggas' best shit. That a fair take, Will? You the president of the Wale Club over here? I just want to make sure I don't get my life.
I don't think I'm the president of the Wale Club. I fuck with Wale though. I don't know if I'm the president of the club, but I mean, no, I think that's definitely like but you can say that. We just talked about how many rappers it is, like how many niggas that tried to rap. It's like it's a lot of niggas whose best shit is, or whose worst shit is better than a lot of niggas' best shit.
Until the Album About Nothing is like this is an album that still has, like I said, the matrimony. It still has the body with Jeremiah, and him and Jeremiah have great chemistry.
It's
Mm-hmm.
Like you,
Need
you
to
look
know with
at
Scissor.
just like the rapping records, as far as like the White Shoes or God Smile or the Glass Egg, like that versatility is just not available to everybody.
Yeah.
So for him to be able to possess it on projects that may not be your best, it still speaks to how great of an artist he is and how he really he really won't be appreciated for just a long time down the road. And there's guys and eras before us, before we were, like um consciously really listening to rap and understanding what's going on. Is like, I'm sure there's plenty of artists in those periods of times where they're much more appreciated now, probably by like guys our age than they were then. So he'll be the same, and every era has those guys where it's like yeah, he was a guy, in our time, but in the next phase of this rap shit, they gonna be like, damn, he wasn't like the biggest guy.
No, that's a fact. And
who
and
you feel
again,
like who. Oh, go ahead, Justin.
I was saying, and when you look back at it, you're gonna look at just like, and this happens to everybody. Like when you always go to someone's big records when you look back on them, like no matter who it is. And Wale has huge fucking records. Like not just like, oh, he got hits. Like no, that nigga has whatever word you want to define, like smash, like what, like he's got those kind of records in his discography that he's gonna be able to. I mean, honestly, like he probably got more big hits than Cole.
I don't know.
I don't know about that,
I,
but sure. He definitely got bigger hits than Cole. I'm not even going to like act like he do, like he don't, but he got plenty of hits for sure.
You getting the numbers?
Because like bigger records, meaning that like number wise and culturally they're bigger, and he
Well,
just
I don't
he
think he
don't
said.
have
I
those
don't
over
think he
Cole.
said he got. I don't think he said he has bigger hits. I think he was saying more so like he got more hits. Maybe not like not saying that
He
Wale's
don't even got.
biggest hit
I
ain't
don't even
bigger
think he
than.
got more hits than Cole though.
Yeah, I don't
so
know,
what?
but I'm saying I think he wasn't saying like Cole. I mean, I don't think he was saying Wale has like bigger hits than Cole. I think he was just saying like
No,
he
so I
has
would
more. But I don't know.
no. So I think Cole has more in terms of totality. I think Wale's biggest hits being shit like Lotus Flower Bomb, Bad. I'm just going through my list here real quick.
Bad is bad the biggest one.
I would say Lotus Flower Bomb is probably the biggest
Bad
one.
can't be his biggest record because then it's definitely not like it's
No,
definitely
but
not
yeah,
over
no, I'm not
Cole.
saying
I'm just saying because it got Rihanna on it, so I'm wondering like numbers
that
wise.
helps,
So
but nah.